Welcome back to another Alliance War video. This is 4 Loki versus SAS, and we're taking the season off, so I'm not actually uploading consistently. But with all these Professor X 7 stars that everybody is getting, including my battle group and Alliance, I figure I'd make a war video with my 6-star Ascended one, but mainly for the boss. Because we do have a new big bad boss, Onslaught, and he was placed this war, and I wanted to test X out because I have been doing some testing elsewhere versus Onslaught, and I wanted to see how this would work out. But here we have this Abman on this regen node on path 1 in section 1, and I'm really just trying to alternate his specials. I don't care about the regen at all. I just, want him to throw different specials and deactivate if I need to. Heavy counter right there for the deactivation. He throws it again. I heavy counter again there just to, build mind control charges. But really, I'm just trying to get to, right there, try to intercept with my relic. It didn't work. And I'm just trying to get to my SP3 here. And I dash away, heavy charge into it. And that's all she wrote. I am running some class boosts, basically because even though we're not pushing, I am fully boosted because I want to do a true test to that boss. So here I'm just doing an SP3 spam, and that's all she wrote for Absman. Next up I have Huling on Masso, and I am running a White Magneto pre-fight for that fight, so it should go rather smoothly. Here you can see the SP3 spam does more than enough damage for even with a non-ramp Professor X. So yeah, next up we have Huling, and I'm using a White Magneto pre-fight so I can parry, but as soon as you hit Huling, he gains a regen buff, which makes him unblockable on that node. So I'm using a indestructible boost. So if I need to push him basically to an SP3, I can, and I can gain power that way. I'm going to use my falter for to ramp up my mind control charges. I'm also going to try to beta heavy by hitting his block and hanging around him a little bit. That works with the AI sometimes. So I like to do that because it can get them in their corner, and it can also get you to get them to throw a heavy, and it'll give you some easy openings. So yeah, the plan basically is to ramp up to an SP3 and then throw it when he's not indestructible. And so here I'm just kind of making sure I don't get cornered. I want to use my falter right there to get a long charge, and he actually goes really passive. This AI nowadays is just really random sometimes. So I'm fully charged here, and I want to push him to an SP2 ideally, so he doesn't ramp up any more shape-shifting charges, because I do want to combo into him to try to burn them if I can, so I can remove that, or he doesn't go indestructible with my SP3 spam. There, I purposely pushed him to an SP3 so I could tank it. I was just trying to burn those shape-shifting charges and build power with myself. This SP3 is going to give me power as well. And there he throws a heavy. And I'm getting the openings that I essentially want. Again, keeping him in his corner. Throws another heavy there. I'm like, perfect. I use my relic, and I heavy charge. I heavy to get him in the corner, and now I'm doing my SP3 spam, and this fight is essentially over. So much like the Abman fight, I really didn't care how much regen he had prior to my SP3, because it was just going to kill him from full health to no health basically. So 2 fights down, 2 fights done, and next up we have a photon. I did bring Omega Sentinel to actually take the photon, but she wasn't, like, the more I thought about it, the more I wanted to test X, because I would have to play around, I would have used tracking and stuff, and it would have been a longer fight especially with the protection. So I opted for indestructible boost. And the plan basically is to heavy counter, but right there I messed up. I didn't dash back twice, so I'm getting cornered, and I'm just like, man, this is not how I wanted to start the fight. I really did want to keep her in her corner and build up my mind control charges, but at this point, because I don't want her throwing any specials, I want her to throw a special 3, and not any of her specials like she does here, because that hurts on the block. I dex part of the last hit, and I'm in my corner, and I only have 60 charges. So at this point, I'm like, you know what? If I have to throw my special 3 before I'm at 100, then I will. She's in pure flight form right here, and I basically initiate it manually, and I push her, and I throw my special 3 while protection is down. This is going to nuke her tremendously. So with the global, anytime you have 2 daunted passives, if they throw a special, they're basically unblockable and you're rooted. And if you block it, it hurts tremendously if you can block it. But you see right there, I didn't get an SB3 after. That's because she had a petrify on me, so it actually reversed some of the class boosts that I had. But ultimately, there was just too much damage for her to kind of deal with the SB3 and SB2. So now I have this Killmonger. I fought Killmongers a bunch. I really wasn't worried about this fight. And I love when whenever I say that, because then it doesn't go well. But the main thing I want to do right here is not throw my special 3 when and right there, see, I wanted to heavy counter that. I don't know why I even thought of doing that. I never do that regularly, but it is what it is. But it's just potions that I didn't really want to spend, especially in a war that really doesn't count. So here he's at an SB3. Again, I don't care that he's gaining power from the debuffs from the node. I just need to get to my special 3 and throw it when he doesn't have any indestructible charges from his special 2. He's full health. At this point, I maxed ramps with X, and you can see that it's going to do quite a bit of damage. So this fight is again essentially over. Just frustrating that I did that with his SB2 counter, because I didn't have to burn any potions for this fight. It was just not needed. And I am using X for 2 more fights before I take the boss. And I do want to be fully healed for the boss as best possible, so, you know. But here, third SB3 gets him down, and we're off to a Kindred mini. Now, Kindred was basically a potato with decay. Everybody knows that, because Degen wasn't doing anything. However, before decay, I was taking him with Prof X here and there, and that's basically because you don't gain any nightmare charges for hits that are non-contact. Professor X's heavy attack is non-contact. So for Kindred, especially on this node with the ebb and flow knockdown with the Fury, all I want to do is get to my special 3. I'm running my class boost still, and what's going to happen is I'm going to end up killing him, and then his Sig will kick in, and he'll be at 1%. I will have whatever power I have, even if I don't get to another SB3 because I didn't do enough damage percentage-wise. I'll be at an SB2, and that'll kill him. That's the plan. So here, I'm just doing parry heavy to build to 100 charges. I use a power start once to get there sooner than later, just to make sure that his nightmare charges don't get too high. But I was trying to bait that SB2, and he wasn't throwing it, and I was like, you know what, just throw my special 3. The Fury is up, this protection is down, and just start this cycle of killing him. And you see one special 3 basically gets him to 13%. This next one will get him to 1%, and at this point I will be rooted when I come out of this. However, my special will unroot me, and I don't have enough to get to a special 3 because I didn't do enough damage percentage wise. The power backs work off of doing a percentage of their total health, and since he was at 13% and I got him to 1, I only did 12%. Didn't get a full bar back, didn't really matter. Now we're going to go do the Sassy on this Bubble Shield and Root Node. So I'm using a energy right here because I need to get to the boss while I'm, I don't want to double boost for a war that doesn't count. But I'm taking the Sassy mini, and it's only a rank 2, but ultimately it wouldn't matter if it was rank 3. He'd have about 550k health. The plan here is to still use my power start 1. I didn't really lose any health versus Kindred, which is awesome. There he resists my heavy attack, and then I get rooted. So I tried to bait him to come at me to get another heavy. Here he does special 2. I heavy counter, and again because it's bubble shield, so I don't want to parry that much while I'm ramping up. I don't care about his rage stacks because the SP3 bypasses that damage mitigation. So as soon as I get to my 100 charges and I'm at red, I'm gonna heavy charge and throw it, and fully ramped at this point, and you can see that he's just doing an insane amount of damage. It's over 200k SP3. He's down 50%, and I'm only at 93% health, so I didn't lose any health really. Well, 4%, and this special 3 will now kill this Sassy. So now this Onslaught Boss. I have a horseman that was placed for me, so I'm gonna run the bleed side of recoil, and I'm running max recoil. And the bubble shield, I feel like bubble shield was thrown on this boss node. I feel like it was thrown on to counter Professor X because you take blocked hits and stuff. To throw bubble shield on a stun immune node just makes no sense. Like that, like why do that as well, especially with this level. Now here I actually ate that heavy. I used my horseman on this unstoppable to eat that heavy to build more power because I want to get to a special 3 as soon as possible. And right there I wanted to dash back to remove a neuro to use my falter to get to ramp faster, but he was aggressive and came at me, so I didn't get a long ramp. So here I'm just using my heavy counter to right there I had to bait out the bubble shield because he was going to go unblockable. So right here I'm trying to get a few more charges. I'm at 88. I could manually trigger mind control, but right there I get to 100. He's under 3 bars, and we're good to go. So he's at 88%. I lost most of my health from that heavy, and now I am he's power locked. He's essentially power locked. He did I got him down to under 50%, and that's it. I mean, I could have played this cleaner. I didn't need to eat that heavy because he got power off it too. I used a power start 1, so it didn't make sense to do it because I was at a special 3 before I was at 100 charges, and I don't like to do that unnecessarily. But it's also not a bad idea because I'm almost positive that if I'm around 70 to 80, I could have enough ramp in my mind control to essentially take out the boss. But that was this war. Onslaught Boss and Professor X totally nuked this war. So see you guys when I do some more interesting fights.